At first, the story would look like a romance, but there's actually more to this story. It is quite the definition of it's getting better and better. And it has done things I had never thought a story could do, let alone a webcomic.
Do you love stories? Well, I do. And when I love something, I like to talk about it. If you have the same passion for stories, then come right in. Because that's what turi kata oge is all about.
Life, sometimes too cruel, too vile. Feeling stuck while doing this and that, going here and there. Maybe you felt that way before, or that's how you feel right now. Or perhaps you know someone who's currently struggling and simply wishes to just stop doing things, or just to end it all, which I don't really recommend, especially the later one. Anyway, if that is the case, sometimes, not always, reading stories about people who are going through somewhat similar things might help. In this video, I will recommend to you some manhwas that you can read on Webtoon, and hopefully they could help encourage the readers to keep pushing, keep striving, keep moving forward, and not give up on life. Before I start, if you know any kind of stories that could help people go through hardships, please do let us know in the comment section below. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The first manhwa is a story that I consider as the greatest work of fiction I've ever read. And if you would only read one manhwa that I will be recommending here, this is it. It has given me a lot to think about. It changed my perspective on so many things. It reminded me of the greatest reality there is. And it has done things I had never thought a story could do, let alone a webcomic. So, the title is The Boxer, created by JH or Jung Ji-hoon. Yes, it is a sports comic, and yes, it is about boxing, but it is beyond that. It's not just about winning boxing matches. This story touches on so many themes that is under the umbrella of life, which is amazing, and you would mainly follow a certain character, but later on as the story goes, you will meet so many characters along with their beliefs, their view on life, how those beliefs have carried them throughout their lives, and what is the problem with that belief, and also their regrets. The author was not shy at showing the harsh reality of our lives, but we're not, because this story doesn't only present the hard ones, the ones that will make you like, oh, yeah, that's life, but then it also showcases the other side to it. So it presents the reality of our lives as a whole. Not only that, in my experience when reading The Boxer, I can feel that the author has so much empathy toward the people who are experiencing similar things to this characters. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Go read it from start to finish. And to be honest, I still think of The Boxer to this day, so I love it. Just go read it, guys. And if you're interested in reading the author's other works, you can check out The Horizon and Mosquito Wars. They are both available on Webtoon. Now let's move on to the second manhwa. This particular story has 4 seasons, and each season has its own main characters, but they are all actually related. These characters vary from high schoolers to college students, and the title is Seasons of Blossom. So the 4 seasons of this manhwa are inspired by seasons in subtropical countries. So the first season would be inspired by spring, and then summer, autumn, and lastly winter. In the first season, you will meet 4 major characters: Yoon Bo-mi, Choi Jin-young, Kang Son-hee, and Lee Jae-min. At first, the story would look like a romance, but there's actually more to this story. So many people say that the main theme of Seasons of Blossom is youth, and I completely agree with that. In this story, you will see the kind of struggles and pressures that the that people in that age would likely experience. And the main reason why this manhwa is on this list is the second season. Basically, if you have read the first season, you would know what will happen at the end of the second season, which made it, at least for me, really hard to go through, but I somehow managed to pass that. And you will find out why that certain character did what he did, what his surrounding was like, and what is the aftermath to that particular event. This story has such a good writing, lovable characters, highly recommend, go read it. The next one. This story is a story that I just read earlier this year. It is quite the definition of it's getting better and better. Mainly because the first few chapters are a bit info dumpy, I would say. And the title is The Blood of the Butterfly, created by Remin. It is labeled as a fantasy, but in my opinion, it is more of a sci-fi slash thriller. Yeah, sci-fi, basically sci-fi. The story is set in 2030s, so several years prior to that, there was a swarm of bugs suddenly appearing on Earth and threatened humanity. And these giant bugs were basically indestructible until someone called the Butterfly Goddess showed up. Unfortunately, she got killed in a battle, and then her body got taken to South Korea by an organization called The Garden. The scientists there then used her blood to do some experiment on children, and then they created the butterflies, who are basically people with special abilities to fight the bugs. The main character of this story is Manhwa. You will first meet him when he was in middle school, and there are quite a number of things that is questionable about Manhwa. First, he always loses control whenever he sees his own blood. Secondly, he doesn't have any memories of the first 13 years of his life. The third one, he has this seemingly unhealthy longing and desire to be loved by others. So what happened in the first few chapters is that we see Manhwa going back to school, and then something happened. He got expelled. Fast forward to when he was 20, and another thing happened. So then he is brought to the garden, and then you'll later find out that he is also a butterfly. So then you will see him navigating his new life as a butterfly, how he forms friendship with the other 3 butterflies, and yes, of course we will find out why Manhwa is the way he is, what actually happened. As I finished reading it, I was awestruck. I was like, wow, right? The later chapters are amazing. I love it. I love that, like JH, Remin also utilizes the platform, utilizes the format of webcomics in such a way which is amazing. And it's a story that the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. I highly, highly recommend. It's not perfect by any means, and the author is aware of that, but it is clear that Remin wanted to convey a certain message, and the story is created with such care and concern that I really, really, really appreciate. I am so thankful for this story as well. I highly, highly recommend this. If you find the first few chapters a bit slow and lackluster, just push through. I promise it's getting better. I love it. I love it so much, with all its imperfections. And that is all that I have for now for this video. If you're currently struggling, or you know someone who's struggling, I just wish that you would remember that you're not alone. You can go through this. Don't give up on life. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, listening to me rambling about manhwas. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends, anyone who you think would need to read these manhwas, And in case you haven't, be subscribed. That will definitely put a smile on my face. And as always, have a great time living your life in a story way greater than you could ever imagine. I'll see you in another video. Bye!